Alright guys, so today we're going to compare three phones here, the Poco F2 Pro, S20 Plus and OnePlus 8 Pro. So keep in mind of the sound below over here as I will be rotating among all three phones. And for the first one here, I am going to show you the selfie video, just how well they control dynamic range over here as I transition all around. So for this comparison, we will be focusing more on the Poco F2 Pro than the 8 Pro and S20 Plus. So with these outdoor shots, you can see here that the Poco F2 Pro is pretty good compared to the 8 Pro and S20 Plus, but it does give you warmer images compared to the S20 Plus and 8 Pro. Going to the outdoor shots, you can see it doesn't control the dynamic range as well as the S20 Plus and 8 Pro. In this shot, you can see that the Poco F2 Pro does a very good job when it comes to color preservation with the S20 Plus and 8. You can see here as well that they do not control the dynamic range as well, and you can see on the shadow it's pretty dark. When you crop into these images, I am pretty impressed that the F2 Pro does give you still a good amount of details with the 8 Pro and S20 Plus. Going on to the wide angle, I would say the Poco F2 Pro is still doing pretty well compared to its main lens. And when you're using the telephoto, the F2 Pro can go up to 2 times compared to the 3 times on the 8 Pro and S20 Plus. It does still give you a good amount of details compared to the other two phones. And as you can see here, the Poco F2 Pro still does a good job comparing it to the OnePlus 8 Pro and S20 Plus. Again, when you look at these images, it always looks a bit warmer compared to the S20 Plus and 8 Pro. When it's shot against the sun, you can see the trees on the back. It is not very well preserved compared to the 8 Pro and S20 Plus. Comes to selfie shots, I would say the F2 Pro does a very good job, but as you can see here, it does look a little bit more dull compared to the S20 Plus and OnePlus 8 Pro. Cropping into these photos over here, you can see it still does a very good job when it comes to edge detection and details. Against the light and under the shadows, you can see that the Poco F2 Pro does struggle a little bit. And as you can see here in my skin texture over here, it's a little bit more smoothed out compared to the other two phones. And in the shot against the black background, you can see that the Poco F2 Pro does struggle again with the dynamic range, and you lose a little bit more details in my hair over there. And you guys know I love me some macro shots, and the Poco F2 Pro does have a dedicated macro lens on its back, and as you can see here, you can go super close to the images and does give you still a good amount of details. This is of course only available on the F2 Pro and the OnePlus 8 Pro. When you're taking indoor shots, the F2 Pro still does a very good job with the S20 Plus and 8 Pro. All phones they have their respective Pro mode. The S20 Plus and F2 Pro does have a 64 megapixel sensor compared to the 8 Pro's 48 megapixel sensor. They do give you a good amount of details, but when you crop in over here, I would say it does lose a little bit to the S20 Plus and does almost the same as the OnePlus 8 Pro. And again, in these images and when you crop in over here, it does very well in preserving those details even when cropped in a lot of times. Now going on to portrait shots, and I am very impressed with the Poco F2 Pro. It is very comparable to the S20 Plus and 8 Pro. Again, the colors are a little bit more warmer compared to the S20 Plus and 8 Pro, but it still does give you very good edge detection and details. Against the light though, you can see that the F2 Pro does struggle a little bit again when it comes to dynamic range. And again, in some of these shots, you can see when it's against the light and under the shadows, the F2 Pro does struggle a little bit more compared to the S20 Plus and 8 Pro. It does lose a little bit more of the edge detection, and when you crop into these photos, you can see that my skin color does change and my texture does get smoothed out.
Run.
The Poco F2 Pro does have electronic stabilization, but it's not enough to help it compete with the likes of the 8 Pro and the S20 Plus. It does jitter a lot compared to the other two phones. And then going on to night mode, this is where the F2 Pro does struggle the most with its software. When the night mode is off, you can see most of these images, it doesn't capture a lot of details. One thing to note is also that you can't use the wide angle lens when you're using the night mode on. But I wouldn't suggest you guys to use the wide angle during the night. As you can see here, it does much worse compared to its main lens. It loses a lot of details and the image is very soft. Alright guys, so we are back at the favorite spot over here. And in terms of colors, I actually prefer the Poco F2 Pro. It's a bit more natural, but definitely on the OnePlus 8 Pro and S20 Plus, it is brighter. OnePlus 8 Pro is brighter than the S20 Plus. And going on to this area where it is very dark, you can see here the OnePlus 8 Pro is doing very well. Going to the sky, you can see here it's a bit bluish on the S20 Plus. And going on to the lights over here, you can see both the Poco F2 and the S20 Plus does give a bit of some blue hues on the back over there. Overall, as a phone, I am very impressed with the Poco F2 Pro. Of course, we are a little bit harsh today as we're comparing it to the 8 Pro and S20 Plus. I am still, like I said, overall very impressed with this phone for its price. So that's it guys, do let me know what you guys think about the Poco F2 Pro, and also follow me on my socials as well on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. So this is Dr. Hammerstang, stay safe, take care and wash those hands.